Win big with new DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all three past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code ONEFREEPP for a free single card today.
Dan Illman, Ashley Mailloux taking a look at the first of two graded stakes races at Santa Anita on Sunday. Race number 7's the Grade 2 Zenyatta. We're going 1 1/16 for fillies and mares. Let's take a look at this field. It's a shame that Adair Manor, without a doubt, the best older filly and mare dirt horse in Southern California, recently retired. Only 6 in the Zenyatta, but horses like Desert Dawn and Flying Connection, they don't mind that Adair Manor is gone because Adair Manor had their numbers time and time again.
Yeah, you have to be ecstatic if you're Phil D'Amato and H&E Ranch. I'm looking at Desert Dawn and just go down her past performances, how many times you see Adair Manor. 4 or 5 times in her past performances. So for her, it's a little bit of a sigh of relief that they don't have to face her in the future. But I think for racing, it is a huge loss. She was a really fun mare to watch. And I feel like she was just getting good. She was getting better with each start. But anyone in here, they're excited that they don't see her. And looking at this field, I mean, to me, yeah, the 2 big names would be Desert Dawn and Flying Connection. But Sugarfish, 2 starts back in the Summer Oaks, was dazzling and was a runaway winner. Sure, it was a compact field. So going to be interesting. And even the horse on the inside, Alpha Bella, don't know what to make out of her. Look at the turf races. Go back to the dirt. You're going back to October of 2022. It's an interesting spot for that filly.
Let's throw up our Timeform US pace projector. We're not expecting a fast pace in here, and that could help Nothing Like You, the 3-year-old taking on older horses for the first time. Couldn't get forward last time out. I can see her on the lead, but she's not really a blazer in here. The 2 Flying Connection is more of a mid-pack type. I'm really curious to see what we get from the Argentinian invader, the 3K Avasora. We don't have any pace data for that horse. Maybe she can get close.
Yeah, not sure what to do with her, especially in the fact that lately in her career, when you go back to say, I don't know, the past 12 months, she's been in longer races, typically 1.25 miles. So at 1 1/16, I wonder what will be the strategy with her. So she's a little bit of a newcomer that is a head scratcher for me.
I can certainly understand why John Sadler's taking a chance with the number 1 Alpha Bella. She has been running mostly in longer distance turf races, but the last time she ran a middle distance on the grass was a good effort in the Miss Liberty 3 starts back. She has speed, and I think breaking from the inside post, she should try to take advantage of that speed and at least get forwardly placed. The last time she raced on dirt, well, she won by 23 lengths, but it was also a 2-horse race. Alpha Bella probably better on turf, but if you're going to take a shot in a graded stakes on dirt, you do it in an Adair Manor less Zenyatta.
Yeah, it's tough to know what to do with her. In terms of her trips as well, I feel like she draws the inside here, Dan. In terms of pace, I don't know how hot the pace will be. She can be forward, but you're talking about turf races going longer distances, sometimes 1.5 miles, 1 3/8. And with that, you're getting those fractions that are earlier or softer. So I don't know, maybe she'll be mid-pack in here. You talked about her decisive win, her only dirt race in the past almost 2 years. It's tough. You know, you go to those earlier dirt races back in October of 2022. It's just a different point in her career, a different ball game. At Churchill, the figures are going to be lighter. It doesn't mean she can't handle the dirt now, but we just don't have anything to go off of.
Trainer Todd Fincher's had a sensational year with Senor Buscador, and he's done very well with the 2 Flying Connection, who had a very nice winter campaign, a good second-place finish in the Apple Blossom, a good third-place finish in the Grade 1 Derby Distaff, and I think maybe last time she showed she's still in form. Let's watch that Clement L. Hirsch, and Flying Connection sort of in tight in the yellow silks in behind horses. I'm not saying she's going to win if she gets a clear trip, but keep an eye on the last 16th of a mile. To her outside is Desert Dawn. And after that trouble, you wouldn't fault Flying Connection for finishing 4th, but she really shows grit and she outfinishes Desert Dawn for 3rd. I think this is an underrated performance.
I think so too. I mean, I think it's, you know, a nice return for her. She had that trip where she's kind of everywhere, right? They had her back at Churchill. They took her to New York. She didn't perform well as the favorite in the Bed of Roses, but I did like that performance last time out. I think looking at her, she's a consistent type. If you want to even go back further, she was a game second to Adair Manor at Oakwan in the Apple Blossom. So sure, it's been a little bit since we've seen her in the winter circle. And when we've seen her in the winter circle, it's been at Sunland and Zia Park most recently. But I don't want to take anything away from her. I think she can just get better and better with each start.
Here's the stranger, the X Factor, the 3K Avasora, making her North American debut and doing so in a fantastic Phil D'Amato barn. Now, we haven't seen this one since May. We'll see if she's had enough time to acclimate to life in Southern California, but she was a quality runner in South America. You made a very good point, though. Her last race was at 1.25 miles. She's got to cut back to 1.16 miles, and maybe she's got to get close to a pace that may not be hot at all.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she's going to be now stateside. If you look at her career, you can see when she started, she was a turf sprinter. Then she was on the dirt sprinting, and gradually she stretched out year after year. And most recently, the last time we saw her was a win in a Group 1 event there in Argentina, but it was 1.25 miles, and she was 58-1 in that spot. So I don't know what to make out of her. You can look at her workout. She has had some snappy drills. The last two, not as snappy, but they've both been out of the gate. So a little bit of a wild card here, and probably a very interesting new acquisition for Phil D'Amato.
Nothing Like You, the number 4, came into this year as sort of the second string 3-year-old filly in the Baffert barn behind Kinza. Then she got the win in the Santa Anita Oaks over that horse, but I wonder if she was dressed up a little bit by just a perfect ride from Frankie Dettori, where he saved ground every step of the way, and Nothing Like You then shot through. Last time out, Nothing Like You ran second to sort of the new big name in the Baffert barn, that is Hope Road, who was odds on and dominated. Nothing Like You ran well that day. She's probably going to have to step it up slightly as she faces older horses for the first time, but I think there's still some upside.
I think there's upside. She's another one as you take a look at her races. You know, she's had performances where, you know, she's close, she's not getting it done. And I felt like last time out she wasn't as forward, but I thought Kazushi Kimura gave her a really good ride where at least, you know, they recovered from being pretty far off of it early on, and they were just second best. And sometimes that's what happens, but I don't want to take anything away from her. When she's good, she's been very good. Look at her in the Starlet, look at her in the Santa Anita Oaks, but she does get that test here, as you mentioned. She's going to be a 3-year-old filly facing the Olders.
Desert Dawn is one of our favorite horses in Southern California. She's a millionaire. She tries hard each and every time. It just seems like when she goes to the post, she finds one better, and that's usually a Dare Manor. With a Dare Manor out, Desert Dawn has a fair opportunity to win this race. And what I've liked about her campaign this year is she's been able to stay a lot closer to the pace than in years past. So she's not pace dependent anymore. And in a race like this, I can see her in the thick of things when they turn for home.
She's made $1 million the hard way, in my opinion. It's not on her wins, Dan. She's 3 for 22, but I think her connections have said, you know what, we're not going to, you know, lighten up on her. I mean, she had to face a Dare Manor when you go back to the summer and the fall of last year, 3 starts in a row, one of which when she was the runner-up in this race. She was second in a lot of those starts, or third, I should say, even when you go back further. And then more recently, we've only seen her once since April. So I think there's some upside. Sure, she didn't run the greatest last time out, but she could certainly improve second off that long layoff. She loves it at Santa Anita. I think on paper, she's the class of the field. We talk about a Dare Manor, but she's also had to face Sweet Azteca, Idiomatic. The waters have always been deep for her.
Jeff Mullins has done a very nice job with the 6 Sugar Fish, reeling off 3 consecutive wins, including an upset victory over Nothing Like You in the Summertime Oaks 2 starts back. They tested her against older horses last time out in the Clement L. Hirsch. She was no match for a Dare Manor. She's back facing older rivals once again, but she's another one that has upside potential. And I guess if she can get back to that Summertime Oaks, she can contend here at a price.
Yeah, it makes you wonder a little bit what happened last time out. But hey, it was at Del Mar. She loves Santa Anita to this point in her career. She's 3 for 5, just that 1 second place finish. And the other race was a maiden special weight before she joined this barn. It was late in her 2-year-old season. So I think she has upside. Looking at her running style, she's comfortable sitting a couple of lengths off the pace early and making a run. When she's won, 2 of them have been decisive performances. I liked her time against Older back on April 26th. She had to work for it in the end. She had to really dig deep and got it done. So, you know, I think I could maybe forgive her for her last out effort.
We'll be kicking off a pick 4 at Santa Anita with the grade 2 Zenyatta. So let's take a look at our top selections right now. You can go several different ways. Flying Connection has just shown consistency at the top level this year. We saw the trip last time out, and she can stay close to the pace. She's a very logical contender.
Yeah, torn between her personally and Desert Dawn. I think they both have similar stories where they can improve against this group. Flying Connection has also been against some tough horses. Vava 3 starts back, and she's also had to face a Dare Manor on several occasions. So I liked her effort last time out when we showed that replay, and just hoping that she can take another step forward.
Nothing like US to prove that her big signature victory in the Santa Anita Oaks wasn't a trip-aided fluke, but I thought her last race was a step in the right direction against a very talented Bapper-trained 3-year-old. I'd like them to get aggressive with her out of the gate and see what she can do as she takes on older horses for the first time. 2-5-6-4 for Ashley, 4-2-5-6 for me. It's the Zenyatta, named after one of the greatest we've ever seen.
Hey friends, you look like you're in need of a winner. If you enjoyed the great content right here, just click and subscribe right here and enjoy the great DRF.com race of the days, the phenomenal stakes previews, and so much more. Many of that content featuring me and my exceptional selections. Trust me, you won't regret it.